If you're wondering why we're terrified right now,
it's because this is a room full of Pharisees. We got a full Sanhedrin here. Not only is it Pharisee week, but at the end, we're introducing a new big baddie, Caiaphas. So for the first time ever this season, we get to see Yusuf's crib.
That's right. Step on in to my, how did you say, crib. This is my bed. See? It's comfortable. This is where I do all of my work. Notice the scrolls.
Any comic book scrolls?
Yeah, what is a comic book?
Never mind.
Don't notice this here?
Where's your bathroom? So obviously, it is very, very small. What's that like shooting in such a tight space?
This particular scene in Yusuf's house, I was fortunate that it's just me, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to having 5, 10 people in one room.
Because there were 5 or 10 people in this room.
Yeah, because people don't see all the other people in hiding in the corners. It's always fun to me having to figure out how to maneuver around all the furniture, right? Without running into anything and also avoiding everything that's all around us that you all don't really see.
Just for you to put on these garments, it just seems like there's ceremony to everything you're doing.
The prayers that are written, I learned them like any other lines, just to make sure those words are in my mind. As far as specifically putting on the tefillin was something that I had to research by watching some videos on how it's done and what the meaning of it is and the blessings that are used to do it. I made sure that I understood a little bit more about how it's done.
As we unravel the mystery Yusuf a little bit more this season, what are you most excited about digging into?
Going back to his hometown of Jerusalem. There's some nice juicy things awaiting everyone in some of those later episodes. That's what I'm looking forward to.
It's fitting to me that the scene has some ominous tones, and then the wind blows, and it hits all of those torches and all that fire. It's like this sound of constant thunder. Kind of makes this moment a little bit more creepy as one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse comes in. Not really what he is, but you know. And action!
currently the plan is a oneer, but what is that?
Basically just the whole scene in one shot. We'll move with one character throughout the whole thing and then transfer to a different character and then we get the whole story told.
And that ominous windy scene heralded the epic return of Jairus. How has he been changed by the miracle?
Nearly my love!
It's changed on a cellular level.
Thank you.
After having an experience like that where you've given in, you've given over, you've given everything, and now anything that's asked of you, you'll do, and you face your human limitations. How much more he wishes he could do. And like the only thing he can do is really run interference where possible, try to slow things that feel inevitable for someone who did everything for him. I'm getting emotional. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. I wish I could. I wish I could do more, That's where Jairus is.
You and Yusuf.
God boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they pray for you? Jairus owes Yusuf everything. The person who opened the door, who let the light into his life.
I have read accounts from someone I trust.
It's an equivalent of blood brother, but it's soul brother.
Hey guys, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and share with a friend. The returning of all the Pharisees also meant the returning of some familiar faces.
He called your religious leaders, your men of God, vipers.
And we had some burning questions for those familiar faces.
Join me in prayer for a little while.
Will you speak with me after?
You and Jesus, alone on the hill. We're now in season 4. You've seen scripts. What can you tell me?
I can tell you exactly this much.
Oh, come on.
It would be irresponsible to share anything that came out of that because there's some really fun things ahead.
So why do you think Akiva is so strict?
He's trying to protect his people who have suffered and been enslaved and gone through so much.
And I cannot stand here and allow you all to be deceived by his sorcery.
And here's this guy that comes from Nazareth and he's breaking all of God's laws, claiming to be the anointed one, claiming to be the Messiah, and he doesn't look anything like what Akiva thinks the Messiah should look like. And that's the thing about the bad guys is they don't know they're bad guys. He thinks he's doing what's right.
And so, to cap off Pharisee week, we got to go into the Jerusalem temple, we saw the Sanhedrin, and we got to meet a new character of season 4.
I'm here with Richard Fancy, AKA Caiaphas. Now, a lot of you might recognize him as Mr. Lippman on Seinfeld.
Maybe not with a beard.
My first question is, do you ever lose sleep at night when you think back to stealing Elaine's idea for the muffins, just the top only, and you opened that bakery?
You stole my idea.
Elaine, these ideas are all in the air. They're in the air.
I, first of all, never lose sleep at night, but I'm just an actor.
You're on Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
That's amazing.
Don't ruin it for me, but what's Superman like? Is he nice?
You know, as I remember, Dean Cain was a very nice guy.
Nice.
I did not think he was Superman, however. I thought he was an actor.
Now you're on the show right now.
Yes.
With the real Superman.
Yes,
But
that's
you're
right.
You're kind of his Lex Luthor right now. You are Caiaphas.
My take on him is that he is a man who feels his duty is to protect the Jews of Jerusalem. In Caiaphas's memory, Rome crucified 2,000 Jews when Herod died and the Jews revolted. And he's not going to let that happen again. And there's this guy named Jesus, performing, they seem to be miracles. And if they are, that's worse, because that can stir people up, that can cause a riot, and we got to put an end to that. And if Rome does that, swell.
Were you a fan of The Chosen before you came on?
Yes, I was. I am a secular Jew. When Jesus reveals himself to Lilith,
Thus says the Lord who created you.
I actually burst into tears out of total surprise. I had no idea where that came from. I've watched every episode. Dallas and I have been talking about my doing this show. He said, look, I've got a character in mind for you. And he would not tell me who it was. He said he's very upper class. He's perhaps the most important person in that community. And then he told me it was Caiaphas. It's great to be doing this because it's a show that, the word I think of is pure. It's very different than doing Lois and Clark, say.
That wasn't too bad. It wasn't as intimidating as we thought, so.
Except he doesn't think Dean Cain is Superman.
We got to talk to the Pharisees, and the next time, Romans.
So don't miss that. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell by the subscribe button so you are notified as soon as it drops.